If you said to me, do you think it's possible? I'd say fucking 100%.
I'm a man on a mission. I don't need no permission.
Unstoppable, my friend. How are you?
In this Kday, Kerwin talks about how anything in business or your life is possible if you think without limits. If you're struggling to do something right now and think it's impossible, then this episode is for you.
It's not working. They can't hear us down there. Why didn't we put one speaker here and one speaker down there?
We couldn't with the connection and the cords.
That's bullshit. They've got cords, they've got cables. Again, there is cables, they could definitely put it down there. Okay. If any one of the three of us asks for something, the immediate response should be, I'll work it out. I'll get it done. And you just work out how to get it done.
I'm going to try to move this one to the corner.
Okay, good idea. Thanks, pal. And Maren told me it couldn't be done. And by the time she'd finished telling me it couldn't be done, John was already ripping up tape and getting the cable out there. So it was a great, just a great example of that kind of mentality.
We moved it.
We did. It is possible.
I need to learn to say thank you.
Yes. I hear, and I'm starting to see it grow, a lot of limitation in certain people's communication styles around when we make requests of people, what their initial response is. Yeah. And I'm starting to see a growing trend where people's response isn't, yeah, fuck, all right, how do I do that? Versus, let me tell you 10 reasons why we can't do that, or 10 reasons why we're not going to, or 10 reasons why we can't. And unfortunately, I'm seeing it start to pop out, in some cases at a leadership level, and it's just not setting the example that we really want to be setting. Some of this can be driven by the fact that some people feel like, well, I don't have the resources to be limitless, and so I feel like I have to impose limitations in certain conversations. We should never be limiting the mission because you haven't asked me the question to invest in resources to be able to support you to do your job at the level that will enable us to do what we want to as an objective. Does this make sense? You guys with me on this? Have you got any examples that you can call upon?
You can just use me as an example. Like, we made some marketing content for Hawaii, and it was like under the pump last minute, and Tim had made a video, it was ready to go, but Kerwin's like, oh, this has so much more potential.
I know you've got shit tons on your plate.
So he gave a bunch of feedback. I was like, okay, shit, like that's gonna take like 12 hours to do, and I was like, okay, like pushing back energetically to what Kerwin's saying.
I could feel you like shutting down.
Even though like for the mission it's the right thing to do, but like for me in my role, I was like,
you just immediately felt
like Tim is on holiday now, like I'm gonna have to add that to my workload, like. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it in that moment. It's my perspective. Mate,
I appreciate you putting yourself out there to be vulnerable as an example. That's courageous. The reason we have got to where we are is because I don't think in the capacity of limitation. I think in the capacity of resourcefulness. It's like not a question of, no, I can't do that. It's how do I do that? I just don't want us to fall into that pattern because it's a really easy pattern to fall into and it's contagious. And other people around you start picking up on it. And look, I'm sure I've done it before where you guys have come to me. All I'm really saying here is I want us to be super conscious of the self-imposed limitations that we're putting on the mission. Because it's not a question of we can't do it, it's how do we, and if there's resources required, give me a fucking case and I'll invest. I don't want there to ever be a situation so, well, I could have done that, but I didn't have the resources. Well, you didn't tell me. Well, I didn't know if you'd be willing to invest. I'm telling you right now, I'm happy to, if you've got a good business case for something, I'll invest in it, especially if it's going to enable us to achieve at a higher level, do at a higher level. And it is, something that's critical in nature. So we're going to do the frame on the day? Scan and frame.
Why not?
My only concern is there's a lot going on the Sunday, and I don't want to. We can definitely do the scanning and like sorting, get it back to them on the day, but framing takes a long time. Like I'm coming from a logistics perspective, that's all, and I want to deliver. I don't want to promise something that I can't deliver.
I know. I personally, after 20 years events, if you said to me, do you think it's possible? I'd say fucking 100%. Knowing what I know about events, running as many events as I have in this context, in my head, the amount of team we've got, it'd be like, yeah, I could fucking scan 300 forms and put them in frames. To me, this is a way of life strategy. Like whenever you look at an area in your life, you think, whenever you find yourself saying the words, I can't do that, like I really want you to just fucking step back and go, okay, why? Like what is it, because again, it's a self-imposed limitation, but it affects you. But when you bring your self-imposed limitations in here, you're now affecting team members. You're now affecting the potential and the expression of the mission. Yeah. When it is recognised as a coach and say, hey, listen, is there potential right now that you're not thinking limitlessly, that you're putting limitations on the potential here. That was a beautiful turnaround, but it was just, again, proof of when you pushed it. It's like what we're capable of. It's just...
And I loved it.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful little touch. I'm curious, what's your lesson, Claire?
Lesson for me is to like take the time to go back rather than instantly, like when I feel fuck, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah.
Just take the time to go back, analyze it in depth, and come back with a solution.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys.
Yeah. Well done, Claire.
I'm a man on a mission.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. Let us know in the comments below what was your biggest lesson from this episode. Don't forget to hit the bell and subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you in the next episode.